All right, let's give it a couple of seconds. Just check that it's working. Let me know you can hear me, guys. I think the super chats are on. We've got 14 people. Sorry, it's just... All right. Sorry, there's just a bit of sun in here. Let me know you can hear me all right. We'll just wait for a couple people. Thank you. Yep, perfect. Looks like we're on. What time is it for you guys? Let me know what time it is for you wherever you are. Let me know where you are. Here it is just before 8 a.m. Been up for about an hour. The sun is coming in nice and strong though. 9 in the UK, so yeah, it's 8 a.m. then for us. The next day, we're ahead of you, boy. Manchester 20, yeah. All right. All right, I've got the super chats on. Anyone that wants to highlight messages to me or support or whatever, we'll get straight into it. So, there's a few things that have happened, and the last one was literally a couple of minutes ago. So, I've realized I'm just going to put this video into one because I get told this all the time. Why do you support Tommy? Why do you support a convicted criminal, etc.? So, earlier this week, there was a report, an unrelated report about the Muslim man who attacked me, who assaulted me outside his hearing. Now, obviously, the fake news need to put in the story, and this is from a so-called conservative newspaper, and I put the screenshot up there. In a conservative newspaper, they basically said that now I work for Tommy Robinson for they worded it convicted criminal Tommy Robinson. Now, this is just a tactic, and again, I'm gonna highlight the fact that this is from a so-called conservative newspaper. That's what bothers me in this. The left wing, I'm used to it. This was a conservative newspaper that printed it exactly like that. And I got an influx of messages from people across Australia saying, how can you support a convicted criminal? Now, my response generally when it comes to the mainstream media is just one quick hashtag fake news. But then they follow up with another question going, well, is it fake news? Is he not a convicted criminal? So we'll step back for a second, because the final straw was literally about an hour ago when I spoke to one of the admins of my Facebook page, who 2 days ago, posted on my behalf while I was asleep an update to Tommy's hearing, his current hearing now, where he's suing the police for harassment. We literally shared the story to TR.news about Tommy suing the police with a comment saying, we have your back, brother. That admin today sent me the screenshots of the post being pulled down for going against the community standards once again. And I've said this, and I know the left keep joking about it. I've seen multiple videos where the left are posting photos of Tommy up there saying, you see, you can post Tommy on Facebook and not get pulled down. Or you can. Now, the point has always been, what I've been telling people is actually, you cannot, on Facebook, post, at least not if you have a large audience, post support of Tommy Robinson and have it kept up there. In fact, 3 of my profiles are currently all under ban on Facebook for different posts that support Tommy. And this is not racial discrimination, race hate. This is literally supporting Tommy Robinson now, even during his trial where he was harassed. I pray to God, and I don't even believe in God, I pray to God that he wins his case, just for that point, that we finally have something that we can turn around and put back in their face. Because now I'm going to go back to the first point. I've been inundated since that article came out with people telling me, how can you support a convicted criminal? Thank you, Tupsil, for the support. How can you support a convicted criminal? And when I respond saying fake news, stop believing the fake news. They said, well, is he or is he not a convicted criminal? Is that in itself fake news? Technically, he is a convicted criminal. I have two responses to this. One, actually I have a few more than two, but two main responses. One, I believe in redemption, people changing. You know what? If you want to judge me on how I was when I was a kid, I don't know if all of you know, but I was a pretty troublesome kid. I got kicked out as a kid, was a street kid when I was 14, 15. I had drug problems. I did crime. I've got no convictions today. I did everything as a child. But if I didn't believe in redemption, if I believed in the fact that people cannot change, then I'm screwed. But in Tommy's case, it's not even that. I ask these people, I challenge those of you that love to call Tommy Robinson a convicted criminal and question my friendship with him and my loyalty to him based on the fact that the newspaper reports him as a convicted criminal. I challenge you to go look at his rap sheet and understand every single charge, anything he has been convicted for. They'll say, oh, he was charged with mortgage fraud. Are you freaking serious? The government stitched him up. They were going to put his wife on the stand so the world can see who she is, and finally one of those jihadis could execute their terror attacks on her, acid attacks on her. The man is a hero. He stood up and wasn't going to allow that to happen, so he was willing to sit in jail. Almost every single one of Tommy's convictions come from Tommy's conviction. From the fact that he is not willing to bend over and take it. From the fact that he is willing to stand up and fight to the end. He has been persecuted time and time again. They've never been able to get him on the things that they want to get him, on the race hate that they keep alleging he has, or at least the media keep alleging he has. So they keep getting him on technicalities on other issues. And trust me, now I'm starting to learn the hard way. That's how they play the game. Because I'm starting to go through it as well. I'm going through the court systems at the moment, and I can't wait to tell you guys about it when I can. In fact, in the latest documents I've seen, they're trying to hold these gag orders for even after the cases. They don't want me telling you about it at all. But I promise you one day I will. If I have to, I'll go to Israel and do it from there. I'll probably get extradited. Who knows? Anyways, different subject. The point is that I would never support a straight up thug, somebody who is of bad character. I would never. Even if I ideologically agree with them politically, ideologically, I wouldn't support him. At least not to the extent that I support Tommy Robinson. I've spent a good amount of time with Tommy, and before I looked over his rap sheet and understood every charge against him. Do you know they like to say the mortgage fraud? Well, that one, for example, if you look at the history, if you understand it, there's actually videos where Tommy talks about it online, where he was literally coerced into guilt. And the funny thing is, what is the mortgage fraud itself? The mortgage fraud itself is something that most people in the Western world who are trying to get loans do. It's called inflating your numbers, your income, to ensure you can be approved for a loan. Was it that Tommy had defaulted on his loan? No. Had the bank made a complaint about it? No. It was literally a technicality that the police found that they could pressure Tommy on by telling him that if you don't take a guilty thing on this, a guilty plea, we are going to put your wife up on the stand and the whole world is going to say. So Tommy, being Tommy, said, I'm going to take a hit for the family and I'm going to get locked up. And I will cop it on the chin. The other one they like to bring up is the assault. Well, does anyone know what that assault is for? He was at a rally, one of his rallies. And you know how Tommy always gets called a Nazi? Well, that's probably not that surprising because whenever I go to Tommy rallies, I get called a Nazi too, even while I'm wearing a kipper on my goddamn head. But the assault that he was convicted for was because an actual Nazi came to one of his rallies and he asked him to leave and wouldn't move on. So Tommy did what the left should be encouraging. Didn't they have punch a Nazi campaigns? Tommy literally fought an actual Nazi, a real Nazi, not a Nazi by name, a Nazi by action, a Nazi who was proud. Thank you, Vito. And for that, they're calling him a thug. As a Jew, I'll tell you this much. I feel safer when I have someone like Tommy next to me. When I know that there's somebody who's never going to stand for real Nazis in our world. The left, those who call Tommy a Nazi and now also use those convictions against him, they scare me. They're the same scum that in Nazi Germany led my people into the gas chambers. Not Tommy's. Tommy's was one of the people that were on the underground fighting actual Nazis. Went against the government of the day. Thank you, Al. Went against the government of the day to protect my people. That's who Tommy is. A man of character. A man, if anything, has proven that in the face of all, he will stand up for his belief, for what is right, not only his beliefs. This is not about left or right. This is right and wrong. Like Tommy, you know what? The funny thing is, in the beginning, I didn't know the difference. Sorry, the sun's coming in a bit strong. I didn't know the difference between left and right. I didn't know the difference. I didn't care. But it is actually these radical groups that have continuously labelled Tommy, labelled people like Tommy, that have pushed me into understanding that you need to stand up and fight for what is right. So will I continue to support Tommy? Absolutely. I know who the man is. And today when you see that they are literally trying to scrub the man off the internet, literally trying to scrub the man off the internet by deleting. This is what we got deleted and banned for today. Literally the article from tr.news that said that Tommy was suing the police for harassment. And I pray that he wins his case so Tommy actually refused the offer from the police as a settlement, a monetary settlement till now. Again, a man of conviction. He wants an apology. He wants them to accept publicly what they did was wrong. I want him to win this case more than anything, just so we have that in our back pocket and say, yep. But even if he doesn't, we know the establishment is against him. And we know that Tommy every day fights for what is right. With conviction. Fearless. God, I wish I had his power to be able to stand up in the face of what he has, I've gotten little tastes of what he's been through, and I tell you, it's painful for me. Like I'm struggling at the moment with and compared to what Tommy's been through, it's nothing. So know this, they are going to throw everything at Tommy, at me. And Tommy's just an easier target. Tommy's a way easier target because he's not brown and he's not a Jew. So he's a way easier target. And this is the time that identity politics, which I fight against, I advocate against so strongly, works in my favor, because that's those same morons that play the identity politics card game day in and day out. Well, it backfires when it comes to condemning people like me. But they are now actively trying. They've tried in the legal system, and they're going to try again now. The reopening of Tommy's case. Then what they do is they try to in the media to defame him and to basically create this narrative that he's the most evil person in the world. And they've done that for years. The difference now, and what is so crucial now, is that now they've taken away his main platforms to be able to fight back immediately. And that's why TR.news is so important. That's why I am so passionate. Thank you, Roger. I am so passionate about being on the team of TR.news. But we need your support 100%. And I need your support personally, but TR.news. So jump on there. Make sure you sign up to the mailing list. If you can support it financially as well. Because there's a whole team around the clock working on that site. And there's some exciting developments on that site that I can't talk about at the moment. I don't think anyone knows yet. So, and it is all around the idea of cutting out these major social media giants and mainstream media monopolies and being able to have our voices. Tommy, me, Danny, Tomo, anyone who is being silenced, anyone that they are trying to shut up, who is bringing the real news or bringing the real stories or discussing the real issues with no filter, the raw, real, passionate people, regular people, not the refined politicians who talk crap all day. That's what TR.news is bringing. And I'll tell you now, the numbers we're getting over there is amazing because people are looking for the truth. People are searching for the truth and they're trying to silence it. And thank you, Robin. Thank you, Morby. They're trying everything to silence it to the point where they are literally, if you are sharing articles now from that URL, they may delete it. They are deleting some of them. And I can tell you this, over time, they are going to have a complete block on that site to being shared on Facebook. And that's why it is so important to jump on the mailing list. That's why it's so important to keep sharing them. Keep sharing them. Let them block it. Let Facebook see what happens when they keep banning the masses from literally sharing. Thank you, Dolev, for sharing the article, the URL. That literally blocking people from sharing URLs now. And you saw yesterday what happened on Facebook. We don't know really what happened in Facebook yesterday. That shutdown, I believe, was something bigger than they are representing. And we are seeing the downfall of these social media monopolies, and we are seeing now the uprising of alternative media. And that is what TR.news is. And we need everybody's support behind us to make sure that they don't win. And the only way these social media giants or the mainstream establishment media political class, the only way they will win is if you guys give up. It's not up to us. It's up to you guys, because without you, it doesn't matter. I'd be talking to no one right now. With you, we've got the numbers, people to share the content, share everything that comes out from the people they are trying to silence, and share it on every platform you have. Drive them mad. Together we'll win. Together we'll win. And there is no way, it's funny to sit here and it's funny. It's bizarre, but humorous to me to sit here and see when these people come to me and try to pressure me to stop supporting someone like Tommy Robinson. They'll say things like, Avi, you're not a real racist like Tommy. How can you support somebody? He hates Jews. Mate, pull your head out of your ass. One, you obviously don't know me if you think, so thank you, Lee. You obviously don't know me if you think that is going to work on me. And you're an idiot if you think I haven't spent months before I even knew Tommy researching and understanding the man and speaking to people that are around him. And when I met him and when I hung around him and when we were in the UK for a good amount of time, a good month I was there hanging out with him personally, seeing him day to day. Hell, the first time I walked into a pub with him, half the pub was black and I was like, this is the white supremacist neo-Nazi. Half the pub, all his mates were black. Like it was Paul Edwards. And it's not that I have my best friend's black. No. The fact is that the only people that talk about race, colour, judge people on their skin colour and not ideas is the left. All Tommy's ever done is judge on ideas. And ideas have to be challenged, no matter what idea. The best and the worst ideas must be challenged. Thank you, David. So no, I won't stop supporting Tommy. And in fact, you are strengthening me to support the man. Because one thing I can tell you is when I fall into one of those holes, which I'm a little bit in one now, but not to the extent of Tommy. And again, I can't wait to when these gag orders are lifted. Well, some of them are really bad, but anyways. I know one thing. Tommy will always stand by my side because he's a man of justice, he's a man of truth. He's a man that stands for what is right, even when it will cost him the world. And the one thing that all these social media giants, the mainstream media, the political establishment, all those, thanks Adrian, all of them, what they need to understand is the one thing you're lacking that Tommy has is integrity and truth and standing for what is right, even if it is unpopular. And because he says and he speaks so clearly and plainly and doesn't choose his words carefully, that is why no matter what platform you kick him off, whether it's a social media platform, a media platform, whether it is a monetary, whether it's PayPal, whether you try to squeeze him from the top or the bottom, you won't manage to silence the man because the people are listening. The people are looking for him. All you are doing right now is what you have always done. You created the monster in your own eyes. If you would have listened to what Tommy was warning from the beginning, Tommy would probably still be working in his original businesses. And he would have been happy that he achieved what he wanted to highlight the issues of the UK. But because instead of listening to him, you tried to kick him, you tried to push him down, you tried to label him, name call, defame, you tried to ruin his reputation, you tried to kill his businesses, you tried to attack him from every which way. All that has done is build the man up into a fighter to fight you off. And all that has done is attracted the masses. How do you think anything you're doing now is any different? It isn't. What you're doing now is exactly the same. You're just playing it slightly different. Everything you've tried till now hasn't worked. Why do you think this is going to work? Why do you think now deleting him from social media and cutting his funding from these major platforms is going to work? In the short term, yes, like everything you did in the short term worked. There was a period where Tommy went quiet in the short term. And then he came back like fire, fury. Like nothing you saw before. And mark my words. In the short term, you might have gains. In the long term, you have been warned. And Facebook, you may have deleted that post where I've said it, so I'll say it here on YouTube. We all have his back. Share it around, guys. Love you all.